In the remote Palestinian village of Badala, in the northern part of the West Bank, families in need receive medical help from this mobile clinic. The population of Badala, located in the Jordan Valley, is about 3,000. Israel's plan for separation makes healthcare difficult. People in Badala can't travel freely to get treatment in the nearby town of Jenin. The mobile clinics and basic health centres in Badala and other villages are financed by the European Union. The European Commission's Humanitarian Aid Department, ECHO, has earmarked a further €43 million for the West Bank and Gaza and for Palestinian refugees living in Lebanon, Syria and Jordan. On the ground, projects are implemented by partner organisations. In Badala, Care International is in charge of the healthcare project. Sometimes women give birth at home because they don't have travel permits, and the only medical follow-up is through the Badala Village Health Project. Every Wednesday, the health centre treats general cases. On Mondays, a doctor who specialises in women's health is available.
It's because we have a lot of problems at the barriers. The patients can't reach Tubas. Many obstacles sometimes prevent them, such as identity cards and transport. A lot of problems with the barriers and the Jewish. This is a problem especially for pregnant women. Sometimes they give birth at the checkpoints, resulting in the death of the baby, because they stop them from passing the barrier.
An increasing number of Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank are finding it difficult to obtain access to basic health care. Shortages of essential drugs are reported, and psychological support is needed for traumatized families. The building that houses the clinic is owned by the village council of Badala.
The situation here is a catastrophe. There are shepherds that came from remote areas in the south, for example Khalil, and they come here to live in tents like shepherds. The pregnant women come to this clinic because they have problems at the barrier, as their ID is different from the people living here.
CARE's manager for the West Bank and Gaza points out that excellent health facilities do exist in the West Bank. However, she says restrictions on movement and access are creating what she calls a highly political emergency.
Israel is occupying the West Bank, where this village is, and has very tight control over people's movement. They have a series of checkpoints, and people cannot pass through the checkpoint unless they have the permission of the Israeli Defense Forces. And those permits are given out very sparingly.
The barrier system was set up to stop suicide bombers getting into Israel. However, the daily problems experienced by Palestinians because of the checkpoints provoke resentment, and many say strengthen radical forces in the West Bank. And there's another problem: food security. Recently, the European Commission earmarked an additional €17 million for food aid in the region. European taxpayers' money is channeled to cases of hardship, for example in Bani Naim near Hebron, through the UN World Food Programme. The first to receive help are female-headed households, widows with a large number of children, orphans, the elderly and the chronically ill. The European Union and the World Food Programme help 150 social institutions in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Majdi Dana works as a field monitor assistant for the WFP.
Lately, as noticed, more people than the registered beneficiaries are showing up at the different distribution sites spread out in different areas in most of the West Bank areas, asking for to enroll in the different projects implemented by WFP. It's a strong indicator that the situation is deteriorating and food security is on the rise in the occupied Palestinian territories. This is very clear in our daily work in the field throughout the West Bank and Gaza Strip.
I come here once every 3 months and I get flour, sugar, chickpeas, oil and salt. People used to go outside for work and they got jobs. But unfortunately, now, due to the situation, they can't go outside and they're staying here. Our situation is going from worse to worse. And if it wasn't for this project, God knows what our situation would be like.
In Gaza and the West Bank, poverty rates have reached 70% and are still rising. It's estimated that about a third of Palestinians here are having to survive on less than €1 a day. With a large number of civil servants not being paid, unemployment has reached 55%.
With the closure of the Israeli labor market, the people have no access to work, so they have no possibility to work in order to earn something that could cover their needs.
The situation is very difficult, and children sometimes get sick because we cannot take them to the doctor. And if they need fruit, we cannot find them fruit. They only get the essential things. Of course, I would prefer to have my own income and depend on my own income and the income of my husband, rather than feeling that I am a beggar.
The WFP estimates that roughly 1 million people in the Palestinian territories are affected by Israeli sanctions. That has a direct impact on the food security situation.
34% of the population is considered to be food insecure. If the situation does not change, we'll have another 12% which will become food insecure. On our side, we are assisting only non-refugees. So now we're probably at a level of 670,000 people who are considered to be food insecure, and another 260,000 that may become food insecure.
Tahani Awad Mohammed Abu Hussein is a mother of 8 children whose husband died last year. She has to tackle daily life with little money, sometimes not enough to buy gas and electricity.
The assistance is really very important for us because the flour is really very expensive. I can't buy it, and I really would like to thank them very much for this food distribution, which has helped me a lot with my children, because they need it a lot.
Since 2000, the European Commission has provided humanitarian aid worth more than €333 million. This towards the basic needs of Palestinians across the Middle East.